Guys, it is my 1-year anniversary. It's my 1-year anniversary of something that you probably are not expecting, and for that reason I realized that this video may not be appealing to everyone. But this is a video talking about my 1-year anniversary on my fitness journey. And like I said, before you click off, this might not be appealing to everyone because this might not be what everyone wants to see, but it's been something that I wanted to talk about for a while. So if you've ever asked for a workout routine, for a supplement routine, then please just stick around for this video. Maybe you'll see something you like. I read somewhere that it takes 21 days to create a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle. And I definitely think I've done a good job in transforming my entire lifestyle to fit this new thing that I do. Well, at the beginning of last year, I signed up for a weightlifting class, and it wasn't until September that our new weight room opened. So in September, we started lifting. I think our family has really good genetics. We're already pretty fit. My mom's had 6 kids and still looks great. Chad really never works out and had an iron 6-pack. And all of us girls had pretty strong legs. We call them velociraptor legs because we're all little, but we've all got really strong legs, and it's just in our genes. So I was excited to start lifting. I didn't really have a lot of upper body strength. I had quite a bit of lower body because, again, just genetics. But this is like a super casual video, guys. I'm sorry if this is not your type of video. But anyway, we started lifting. I remember our coach, I instantly liked him a lot because he knows what he's talking about and he's super qualified. I know I can't stop going on about how qualified he is, but he's honestly great. We did screening and learned that I had a bit of knee valgus, which means that when you squat, so if this is straight leg, my thighs came in and then my knees came out. So my knees were caving in, so when I'd squat, they'd go in. And that was an ankle problem and it was a hip problem, and I worked really, really hard to get rid of that. And I did correctives for, I'm still doing them. It's been like a year now. We have not fixed the ankle problem. The ankle problem is still there, but it's a lot better, guys. And so I'm a living testament that if you just try, guys, I promise it gets better. You don't have to be crazy heavy lifting every day. However, I wouldn't say that's the start of kind of my fitness journey. I would say it was when I was 13, almost 14. I know I've talked about it before, but I think I've said I had really bad depression and anxiety when I was 13 and 14. The doctor was like, you should do exercise more, you know, it helps. And I thought that was a bunch of bull crap, okay? I did not believe that for a second, but my parents thought it was a good idea because I wasn't really doing any sports at the time. And so I remember my dad took me into the local gym and he got me a gym membership. I did not want to go, I did not want to do it, but he would drive me to the gym every day, and for 20 minutes he would make me just go on the elliptical, and that's all he'd make me do. And I hated it so much, but he made me do it. And so every day it was 20 minutes on the elliptical machine. No weightlifting, you know, nothing of that. But that, I think that's kind of where it started. That's when I started going to the gym. Even though I wasn't really doing a lot, that was what I was doing. And then weightlifting started, and we started weightlifting, which, by the way, guys, weightlifting, I think, and at least the way I've been taught, weightlifting is the best way to lose weight. You can do cardio all day long, but weightlifting really uses up a lot more energy, and not only are you losing fat, you're building muscle. So I think that's great. Sorry, sidetrack. Okay, so I started getting heavier and I started getting more advanced in lifting like maybe 3 or 4 months after I started lifting, so Christmas of last year. And then January and February started, and that's when track season started, and that's when we also learned that my calves were really, really, really bad. Anyway, that's when we learned my calves were really bad. And it's always been in our genetics. I think my grandpa Frankie had really bad calves. My dad has them, but it was never as a teen. It was always when they were an adult. So the fact that mine were starting so early, I think it meant something else was wrong, which again could have been an ankle problem. My family always teases me, ankle mobility, but you know, it's true because I always talked about ankle mobility and they always laughed and made fun of me. Anyway, during track season, that's when I really started getting in shape because I had no cardio at all. Even though I did ellipticals and stuff, I never really pushed myself. I remember a couple months before, I was like, hey, I'll get in shape for track and I'll run a mile every day. That did not help, guys. Do not run a mile if you're trying to be a sprinter. It does not work. You need to do sprinting to be a sprinter. So track season started. First practice was so much worse than I thought it was going to be in my mind. Has that ever happened to you where you have like expectations, but it's actually so much worse in your head? That was one of those times. I think another reason why I struggled so much during track was because of my diet. I heard somewhere that 80% of what you look like is contributed to your diet, and then the other 20% is physical exercise, genes, and stuff like that. I don't know if I believe believe that, or maybe, you know, the numbers are a bit high, but it definitely does work like that. Your diet definitely contributes to what you look like. I was eating garbage. I mean, it wasn't like I came home and just binged on junk food. I thought I was doing well, but I ate a lot of stuff that I should not have eaten, and I also ate a lot of it. So that was a smack in the face during track, you know, when you're sprinting and you're like, wow, I'm really feeling that Beto's burrito I had for lunch, you know, like stuff like that. So I really started to cut down on that stuff. I tried to eat better. I ate more vegetables. I had like 2 bags of vegetables a day, and I had more meats and proteins. And I could tell too, just, I don't know if it was because of the running or the diet or both, but I really started to tell a difference in the way I felt, in the way I looked, and I loved it. I was lifting heavier, you know, and so I was really getting in really good shape. Anyway, track season ends, okay? It is early May. I am working with a physical therapist over my calves. I did it all during track season. I'd go in twice a week, and he would, it's called scraping. It's when they take like a metal plate and then like ultrasound gel and then put it on your calves to like lubricate it, and then they take a metal scraper and just like scrape down to get all the scar tissue and to like calm the muscles a little bit, you know. So I was doing that, and he told me that if in 1 year from that time, so if this next May my calves aren't any better, I'll need surgery. And that surgery would look like they'd go in on the inside of my calves and just make incisions because the calf is so compressed, and then give it space. So with that in mind, he said don't lift very heavy or a lot, and don't overexert yourself running, which made me sad because I really wanted to sprint train all year long just so I'd stay in shape for track, but he told me that wasn't a smart idea. So with that in mind, I went and I dedicated most of my time to lifting. I didn't really follow what he said, and I lifted heavy, but I didn't lift a lot of reps. I did a few set, like 5 reps of 5 for everything, but I lifted really heavy, and I started bulking up. And I know that's a fear that a lot of women have, is that they don't want to start lifting because they don't want to get bulky. And I never really had that fear, and then I started getting bulky. I was like, oh man, because I'm already short, guys, and I don't want to be bulky. I'm not gonna be like those models who are 6 feet tall, really slender. I'm not that bodybuild. I'm meant to be muscly, but I didn't want to be like muscly, you know? So I texted our trainer at school, and we were able to work through some stuff, and we fixed my weightlifting program so it wasn't an upper body lower body, which is what I had been doing. It was a posterior anterior. So posterior is everything like in the back, so like I think it's shoulders, hip dominant exercises, and then anterior is in the front, so like chest, quads, stuff like that. I think that's right. So it didn't really put as much stress on one muscle group, which was good. And I stopped bulking up, so it was good. School's about to start this year, and I go and I get my body scanned because I don't like to look at weight. I think weight, just looking at the scale, isn't a very accurate description because you don't know if that weight is water weight or muscle or fat. You don't really know what it is. So I go to, it's a local shop, and they have a screening. It's called in-body screening. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it's helpful. I was at 24.3% body fat, and that crushed me, guys. I was so sad because before track season I was at 23. You know, during track and after track I really watched my diet. I was keeping track of the food I ate. I was exercising. Ever since this last year, guys, I've always lifted at least 3 times a week. So I was exercising all the time, and I gained body fat, and I was so sad and disappointed about it. And so I came home and I talked to Dad about it. He's been working with a trainer, and he said you should get with her, you know, you should start working with her, and I think she'd be able to help you. So I did, and so I hired her. So she's been helping me with my macros, and she told me that when you overtrain and you don't eat enough certain type of macro, then your body actually holds on to body fat. It goes into like survival mode, which is what I was doing because during track season I would lift twice a week, and during the summer I'd lift for almost 2 hours most days of the week, and I was way overworking out, and I was eating way too much protein, not enough carbs, and so she was able to help me fix that. I've been working with her for almost a month, but I went to get my body screened a week and a half ago, and I was at 20%. So in less than 3 weeks, I had dropped 4% body fat. I'd also gained 5 pounds of muscle, and I have been cutting back on weightlifting. So I'm only lifting 4 times a week. So it feels weird, you know, I'm not going in 6 times a week to lift, and I felt lazy for a little bit, but then I saw the results. I was like, okay, we good. Also, you'll be surprised when you start eating healthy at how much you're able to eat, because healthy food, like vegetables, there are basically no calories. So you can eat so much more than you actually think you can, and it's great. So then the school year starts, and I'm doing my weightlifting program 4 times a week. My calves start getting bad again. I really don't want surgery, and so I talk with the trainer at school who's I've been working with for a year, and he recommends that I take a month off from lower body lifting and from running, like running stairs, sprinting, jogging, like even walking, because I wanted to just be able to just walk around a track, even just to do something. He's like, no, because if your ankles are out of alignment and have bad mobility and you're constantly putting pressure on it, it's like stacking pancakes, you know, if one gets off, then they all slowly start getting off. And he's like, that's what it would be like. So I can't even do that. So that absolutely destroyed me, because I knew he was right, and I talked to the trainer I'm working with, you know, the dad's working with, and she agreed. So we cut out all lower body lifting, and now I'm doing upper body 4 times a week. And we're trying to get my leg muscles to shrink, because like genetics, my calves are naturally just ripped, okay? And so we're trying to get them to shrink so we can get all the knots and muscles out and get the muscle more pliable. But it's been hard because I feel lazy, you know, HIIT workouts with sprint intervals, you know, you can't do those anymore, and so I feel out of shape. All I could do for cardio is med ball slams and battle ropes, and that's about it. So it's going pretty good. It's been almost 2 weeks since I stopped, so we'll see how that goes. But I just have to keep it all in perspective, you know, of would I rather take 1 month off now or a year off after surgery? And I'd rather take a month off right now. At least it's not during track season or anything. So that's where I am right now. I think you guys have heard. I started taking supplements, I think, when I started lifting a year ago, but it wasn't very, like, much. Like, I just did what Dad did. I did maybe fish oil and green tea extract, and that was about it. And maybe carnitine. That was all I did. And most days I didn't take them because I got lazy and didn't want to go and get them from under the counter. But now I'm taking more. I'm doing evening primrose oil. That's what I'm doing. And fish oil, also a daily vitamin. And my skin has been getting better, and that's what the daily vitamin is supposed to help you with. I don't know if it's from the vitamin or because I've been drinking more water. That's another thing, guys. I've been trying to drink at least a gallon of water a day. I've gotten up to 1.5 gallons, and I don't think I'm gonna go over that. But I have to pee all the time. I have to leave at least once every class period, and I feel really bad. But guys, if you have any advice on how to drink water but not have to pee all the time, it sounds like a weird question, but I would really appreciate it. But I've honestly fallen in love with this entire world of fitness and nutrition and exercise so much that I was talking to Mom today. Our weightlifting coach at school offers internships to seniors, so I think I'm honestly going to talk to him about it and see if I can do it my senior year or the summer in between my senior year and freshman year of college, or even just during college as kind of like an after school activity, I guess, because it sounds so fun to me. I'm not saying that I don't want to be a lawyer anymore, but I'm also not saying that maybe that's not what I meant to do. I don't know, because this is something I love, and I've started noticing it like just every day, because you know, you watch your coach screen so many people and you see what he points out about them, and then you see random strangers walking and you can see like that person has a shoulder problem or that person has an ankle problem, and like you can't even help it, but it's the way I think now, and I absolutely love it, and it's something I've never felt this way about anything before, and so it's exciting. We'll see what happens with it. I have had a lot of people say that I've been obsessed with it unhealthily, and that I might develop an eating disorder or something, but I can promise you that I've never felt better in my entire life. Okay, I think that's all that matters, is if I feel good about it, then that's my thing, and it makes me happy, it makes me feel good, and I don't think I'd ever go back. Of course, there are some days that it's like, I wish I never learned about food, because then I could eat this entire thing and have no shame. And there are some days when I do eat things with no shame, but it's not most days like it used to be. So, do you guys like to work out? I know there's lots of different ways to work out. Weightlifting, running, that's all that's coming to mind. Swimming, sports. Do you guys have a preferred way to work out? And do you like to work out? Do you like to eat healthily, or do you just really not care? Because, you know, there's both kinds of people in this world, and that's okay. Sorry again if this video was not meant for you. It's not meant for everyone. I think there's just a lot of people who've been wondering about it, and so I wanted to make a video of it. Also, I'm proud of myself, guys. I've stuck with it for an entire year, and I don't really stick with a lot of things I start. I can maybe name a couple things, but this is one of the things. I definitely don't see myself stopping anytime soon, so I'm proud of myself. Are there also any things that you guys have done that you've been proud of yourself for? Comment down below and let me know. This is one of those things for me. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.